Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the In Good Company podcast with me, the person with whom you enjoy good company. But today we have someone else. She's someone that's very dear to my family, and she's someone who has a lot of wisdom to give us. You've probably seen from the title what we'll be talking about. So get ready, drum roll, introducing the amazing Elizabeth.
Hi
Welcome.
everybody. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
thank you for agreeing to be on this podcast. It's not easy to be in a position where you're able to share your story with the rest of the world. So I'm really honored. Thank you very much. How did we even meet?
It's just divine.
I think so
It's just
too.
divine because there were things that happened. There was something that should have connected us together, but it
Mm,
was delayed or it didn't have to happen.
okay.
And then all of a sudden, I just called this person that connected us back to say,
Yeah.
okay, help me ask them,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this is this still going to be possible? And then
Yeah.
just somehow just reconnected,
Yeah.
and how God orchestrated that, even leading to this having to the conversation that led to us thinking of having this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just divine. I just see
It
the hand of
is.
God in it.
It is. And you didn't talk about the train station. We met at the train station.
Oh my goodness, that's
We
true.
met at a train
We
station. We didn't
met.
really know each other then,
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
randomly met.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
you walking
That's
up
true.
to
I
me
just
and
walked
you're like,
around and like, oh
hi.
hi, Onome, are you from? From CCI, and
Yeah.
then we just, oh, that's true. That's the very
Then I
first
had
time
just
we.
started working in Liverpool.
Mhm.
So I was probably waiting for my train. I don't
Yeah.
even remember. I feel like even that day was a bit, like the way the day was going was just a bit funny. But then, we met and
Yeah.
looking back, I'm like, oh, okay, good. I needed to be at that particular point,
At
that
that
particular
time,
spot at that time
yes,
so that I could
yes,
meet you. And I
yeah.
think that's one of the things that also got me comfortable. So when you messaged me, I said, oh, I've been like, when you started texting me, because I collected your number from Bimbo,
Yeah, yeah.
and you're like, do you know that I'm the one you've been texting? I was like, oh my God.
And you're like,
I had no clue. So honestly, truly, the way that our relationship has evolved, the way we met,
Mhm.
one of the things I've been talking about lately on my social media is how to be a people person. What if you didn't know how to say hello to somebody and you recognized me from church? Because I wasn't even looking. I didn't see you before. You just walked up to me. I was like, oh, imagine if you saw me and like, please, I don't say hello to
And
people. Just mind your business, face your front.
exactly, and I could have just thought, since you don't know me, let me just walk past. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not me. I don't think I won't do that. If I know you from so, even though I knew that if I had walked up, if I walk up to you, you won't. It would take me to still have to introduce myself or tell you
Yeah.
I know. I don't mind. I don't mind telling you. Oh, I
Yeah.
know you from church. Or I know you. Oh, I've seen you from somewhere. Are you this person? I'm a product of people of relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I've had times in my life where just imagine. Okay, now imagine my walking up to you that day has led to so many other
So
things. If
many
What if I did
things.
not connect to you that
Oh my
evening?
God, it has led to so
So many
many
other
things
things.
that benefited both myself, both yourself. This is why I keep encouraging people. And I think people make it look like, they are better off if they stay to themselves.
No.
But I want more people to, I know this is not why we're here, but I think it's just really important because what
Yeah.
you said, you're a product of relationship as
Mm-hmm.
I am, as am I. But there are people who genuinely believe that, oh no, it's just their friends. If anybody walks up to them, it's like, oh, why are you walking up to me? Oh, why are you talking to me? Oh my God, don't talk to me. None of us exist in isolation.
No.
There are opportunities that you will get. It just takes you saying hello to the most unassuming person.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, this woman is a godsend in my own life. She what she's doing in my life, she does not understand the depth. And
Thank
when I
God.
think about it, what if she just did not say hello? I mean, thank God for mercy.
Yeah.
God would have probably brought someone else,
Someone else. Yeah.
or maybe still found another way to connect
But it
us.
was easier
It
because
was,
she could meet. Yeah. It
yes.
was.
Chances of us meeting in church like
It
that
was
would have
very
been
slim.
really
Of course, we
hard.
didn't meet in church. I won't say
Exactly.
that.
Even now that we know each other, how many times do we see each other in
No.
church on Sundays? Very hard. But I'm really, really, really grateful. So
Thank
thank you for
God.
taking the bold step. And I hope that somebody will be inspired. Please, when you see somebody and you said something that you don't mind explaining how you know this person.
Yeah.
Some people feel like, oh, and to be honest, for some people, it might just be that they are awkward or they have anxiety. But for others, it's pride. You
Yeah.
feel like, well, I don't, why should I walk up to her or him? They feel like they are the center of everything, but really, First of all, nobody really knows you like
I
that.
mean,
Nobody cares.
pride just
Pride,
negates.
nah.
It just
And it limits a lot of
downgrades
people.
you.
Some people, by the mercy of God, have gotten some opportunities. But when you think, maybe in heaven, we'll see how much people have lost out or missed out on because they did
They've
not
refused
thank
to,
you.
yeah,
They've
yeah.
refused to interact. They've refused to build relationships. And it's just very, sad. But
That's what the world about. Life is about
yeah,
relationships,
relationships.
relationships,
Like people
relationships.
swear they don't need people. Or nowadays people are having AI as besties. People are,
Yeah, of course, of
ChatGPT is
course,
now some people's therapist.
of course.
You don't want to see an actual human being that will help you. Is ChatGPT your therapist?
Not my therapist, but very useful.
No, very useful. 100,
Very
very
useful. Not
useful.
my
And that thing
therapist,
is a
but very
tool, but it's not a
useful.
friend.
Yeah, it is not.
I only use ChatGPT as a tool for work. I write something and I maybe say to ChatGPT, refine this or whatever.
Yeah,
I just use
yeah.
it as a tool. I've never really, I don't know, I've never just really been in that position, I guess. I mean, this is not to judge. I mean, I've just never been in that position where I've needed to do that. If there's anything that's on my mind, I'll pray. I feel like God is invisible enough. I don't need ChatGPT. You get like. But yeah, good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah.
Now we are diving into the topic of the day. Let's get to know you. Let's know who you are. I mean, we talked about how we met,
Yeah.
but who are you and what should people know about you?
Okay. All right. So, hello again, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Olamide Adeleke, and I'm a student currently. I'm a student of health and social care, and I'm a mother of two beautiful girls. I have businesses back home in Nigeria and here too, but this stage of my life is just really focused on growth, and it's just more about my relationship with God right now, having to like really find out what exactly do you want from, like, what exactly can my life still become after what I've gone through. I mean, I just got out of a marriage, and I've gone through different forms of abuses growing up. A lot of things that just happened, and I feel like this season is just focused on that part, like just growing, just learning, just working with God and asking, finding out what plan God has for me emotionally, just growing on every aspect of my life, basically. So I think that's just it.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah,
So you have a book
yeah.
titled
Abused and abandoned.
Abandoned.
Come up either. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So yeah, that's why we're here. We want to learn from the things that you're learning. So whatever wisdom that God has given to you that has informed that beautiful book, and whatever things that maybe not might not be in the book, but you'd like to really share with people, with the hopes that people would understand what abuse looks like. Because one of the things you just said was different forms of abuse. So what does that look like? I want you to just explain to us briefly what abuse means.
Abuse is just the abnormal use of something that was originally intended for a purpose, and it can happen in different form. Abuse is not violent; it is subtle. Many times, people think abuse has to be the beating, it has to be the screaming at, it has to be, but no, our focus is always on the physical aspect. But there are different forms of abuse, and to be honest, maybe not everybody, but I think majority of people go through abuse on a daily basis. We don't know about it. Like I said, I've had different forms of abuse. I've gone through abuse in my previous marriage. I've gone through abuse while I was growing up as a child. So people just think, oh, when they're talking about abuse, my husband don't beat me, he doesn't scream at me. Oh, so that means I'm not part of it. Until now that I'm working things out, I didn't realize that I was being abused even in the marriage, emotionally. I didn't realize there is physical, we have different forms of abuse. There is physical, there is emotional, there is financial abuse, there is spiritual abuse, we have psychological abuse. I mean, and it happens in different subtle ways, really subtle ways. And when you say abuse, like that's what I'm saying, people just kind of think you're talking about physical abuse or like beating, sexually harassment and stuff like that. So when we say abuse, it's not, don't just box it and think, oh, I'm not sexually abused, I'm not physically abused, oh, then it can be me. It is not the big things most times.
centered around women.
Yeah.
Men too.
Men go through it, so but I
They
think
go
women
through
are
a lot of
empowered to like
abuse.
speak up.
Yes,
Mm.
a lot of the time men don't talk about things, and that's a whole different conversation.
It is.
Because you know what? Let's take it from the top. Your story.
Okay.
What has led to this point where you are very passionate about the topic of abuse and abandonment?
All right. Thank you. Okay, so maybe I should just give a quick backstory to my upbringing, because I think that's, let me give a backstory. So I'm I'm the second in the family of six. I have three sisters and one brother. And my dad used to be well to do in his business. Like while we're growing up, there was never a need in the house that he won't meet. But something happened along the line. It caused the breakdown of his job, and like it was so in depth that people that he was in business with will always call, rain courses on him, So I grew up seeing those kind of things, and there was just something in me that really wanted to change the circumstances of the family. So I mean, we were able to scale through that period. We moved to a different city. Um, my mom was doing a trade. My dad was still working somehow. Anyway, fast forward. I finished secondary school, and at this time we were struggling. I had gone to Lagos. I had gone to, I had gone to stay somewhere in Lagos to like work as an housemaid, because they promised that they were going to send me further my education. But on getting there, of course, it was a different story. We know how these things are when you take children out for domestic labor, things like that. The fire that my dad had to like want to make sure that we go to school. So when the opportunity came,
So your dad was the one who sent you to
no,
stay with somebody.
well, I think I won't say it was, but my parents agreed to allow me follow this particular person that came with the opportunity.
Okay, someone came
Someone
with the
came with the opportunity that, okay, why not just let this girl.
How old were you then?
I think I was 16. So because the person sold the idea of when you get to Lagos, you're going to further your education. So of course, no parent will hear that something will better the life of their child. They trusted this person, of course. So that's the form of abuse I think I suffered.
Was he like a relative?
Yeah, my dad as someone like a sister that he met her through work, and this person just became family, just became close. So when she saw the struggle and stuff like that, she just decided to bring the opportunity to him to say, why not let this girl go to Lagos to work, and then as she's doing this in the house for them, they're going to sponsor her, I mean, for their education.
Was
so
it her house or someone else?
No, it was someone else. That is what she does. She takes children, take them out for domestic labor like that. So that happened. And you know what I went through? That was, in fact, I experienced sexual molestation in that house. There was one night I can still remember till tomorrow. This man beat me for 2 straight hours with naked wires, and I'm sure he's going to watch this.
You better watch it and feel ashamed.
Those abuses and events happen at the place where I went for the domestic servitude and stuff like that. And then after like 9 or 8 months, I returned back to my parents' house. I told them everything about it, and my dad stood his ground that I wasn't going to. If I don't want to go, then he stood by me. He said he didn't allow me go. So that was when I saw an opportunity that there was this particular polytechnic still had an opening. My dad did not have the money at the time to send me, but I was desperate. I just wanted to leave the house. I just wanted to make sure that I finish my education, I get a good job, I just want to change the circumstance of my family. So I didn't care what I had to do. I saw an opportunity to get into school, and then okay, no problem. So there was this person in the area, like a big brother. I told him about it, and it was my dad. My parents welcomed this person into our home like you're about to say Egbon Adugbo, like people that are just like brothers and sisters, big brothers in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So we shared it with him, and he's like, oh, no problem, he's going to sponsor my education. That is his word to my parents. But his words to me is that I have to sleep with you to make sure that
How old were you by this time?
I should be 17. because that was when I go back home. So 17 or 18, 17.
And this man was significantly older.
Of course, he was. He was married with a child when he was telling me all of this. He was. And my parents, be close enough to your children to be able to confide in you about some things that they're going through. I won't. Well, I now I know better. Now I have Jesus. I won't blame my parents for anything. Like we can blame our background all we want, but now we are exposed to better understanding. Now make the decision to like set a good foundation for your own children, for your life even going forward. So really, I would talk about a lot of things, but I don't have any any pain in my heart to my parents or anybody anymore, because like God has really helped me. God has really helped me, and that is really, and that is my that's a blessing I enjoy. What
So
was
this married man
Mm,
was asking to sleep with you so that he will pay your school fees,
exactly.
while lying to your parents that, oh, it's fine, he will pay your school fees
Definitely,
anyway, if there was no
definitely,
strings attached.
definitely. And I was doing that. Do you know the
So
funniest part?
he continued even while you were still in school. Oh my,
It
did
continued even when I was still in school. And the annoying part is that when I needed anything in school and I call him that I need something, I would have to travel from school back to his place. My parents did not know I did all of these things. I have to travel from Abeokuta then back to Ifo because he was now staying in Ifo. I would travel
with
back
his
to his
wife in the
house.
house?
So now, because of the way I think the work of the wife, they were not staying together. Mm. But so I would go to his house, and guess how much I have to guess the needs, the things that I need. Now I'm sponsoring people's education, and I'm wondering somebody had to sleep with me for 5,000 naira so I could eat in school, so I could buy a textbook. And in the end of everything, the moment I decided I wasn't going to continue, I can't continue doing this. And I told him I can't continue doing this. And he told me, ah man, I wish I can say this in Yoruba because God. And he said something in Yoruba that's
Say it and then
and translate that. Okay, so he said something like like you meet me in front or something like that. When people just like tell you I'm sitting, I'm waiting for you. And I didn't know what it meant at the time, because now the way, even the way he worked my, it was one that processed my admission and everything. The way he did it, I didn't know that I didn't have my mathematics at the time, but he had talked to someone at the polytechnic that really helped me, and the person told him that before my 2 years, before I finished my education, my my national diploma, I should ensure that I have my mathematics. He knew that. Maybe I can't remember now if he told me or not, but I didn't know the implication of it. So I think he got the form. I was going to do that, but then it was along that line. I told him I am not going to continue sleeping with you to remain in school, and that was when he like made that. Yoruba would say "Oliori," and I don't know. I can't remember the word right now. Like he just like tell me I'm waiting for you at the front. Exactly, something like that. But I didn't, I really don't understand the gravity of these things at the time. So the cost of that was that he won't pay for me to receipt for my work. I won't have my mathematics, and I was expelled. So I was expelled from school. I had done my project. No, yeah. I had done my project. I think I had defended my project. I had done everything, but I couldn't get my results. When the school released names of people that were expelled and I found my name, then I'm wondering, what have I done? I'm always on my own. I'm always going my way and whatever. So when this happened, and it was the first person I called straight. When I called him, he said, "I told you." Man, I didn't. It felt like someone that had just given me a big blow. I'm like, what have I like? What I did was not enough to justify. I mean, to
ruin your
to ruin
education.
my education. I had finished my national diploma. All I needed was just to I defended my project just to get my results, and then he said, and that's so.
This is the abuse of all abuses.
You've not even heard anything.
Oh my goodness.
Like you've not even heard anything.
Now, this has definitely shaped. You said something how you, as a young child, you liked the attention from men. You're not the only one. We all did. I think that's where the adults then come in. The responsibility of an adult is to protect the innocence of a child. I don't know if you watched this series by Pastor Mildred Okonkwo, Just Us Girls.
Yeah, I started it at some point. I didn't
So there
finish
was
it.
a young girl, Ife. Ife is a teenager, just started school. Similar story. I mean, she's from a very wealthy home, so she was shielded. And so now she's out in Lagos
Mhm.
and she starts liking a grown man. I was really upset at this grown man because he didn't do anything with or to her, but he was feeding her desire for attention.
Mm.
His responsibility as an egbon,
Yeah,
like you said,
yeah,
as a big bro, was to protect her innocence and make sure that you tell her that I'm not. You get this when you talk to children, you'll remember that they are
yes,
children.
yeah,
Teenagers have desires. I definitely did, but when parents come in, and parents will do the best that they can. Where parents come in is to make sure that they affirm their child so much that whatever someone else is promising them does not entice them.
yeah.
And then, even when you do all that, there are also some other things that play. There might be peer pressure from school, there might also be manipulation, like this big brother. After the parents have put this child in your
Yeah,
care,
okay.
what you now decided to do was to abuse the
Exploiter,
child.
yeah.
And obviously, because of shame, that you were aware of, 16, 17 is a good age to be aware of shame. And a deeply patriarchal society like Nigeria, where things like that, they'll probably even blame you. You like men.
Definitely,
What were you doing?
definitely.
What were you wearing?
Those are the kind of upbringing that we were
Mm-hmm.
used to.
Yeah. So it's hard for someone like you in that day and
To
time
open up.
to have opened up to anybody. Even if you were your parents, it's hard. I'm pretty close to my mom, but I'm pretty sure that there are some things that
You can't try to bring close to her.
you understand. But then that's where the other adults in our lives come in. Big aunties, the sisters, the cousins that are just safe spaces.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of us had those. By God's grace, this podcast will reach the people that it can
Amen.
reach.
Amen.
So I just want you to share, based on that experience, what lessons do you want young girls to take? You said things about that desire. Let's start with the desire for men. How
This
can they help the situation?
the lessons, for one, I think that the foundation of everything that we will build has to be Jesus.
Yeah.
And that is the only solution, I think, that because seeking validation is because I didn't know who I was. I didn't understand my identity. So there is no amount of validation any man would give me that would have made me fall in for their tactics. There is a void that only if it is a God-sized hole. Like from personal experience, there is nothing that can fill. I've tried to fill it with sexual. I mean, am I free to talk? Because I've tried to fill that void with men. I've tried to fill that void with addiction, sexual addiction, masturbation. I talked about that recently on one of my videos on Instagram. Masturbation, and the truth is, those things will fill you for the time being. But I'm telling you, it can't satisfy. There is a joy that it is only Jesus' joy. There is one joy that there's a satisfaction that it is only Jesus that can give you. So one of the lessons, I mean, one of the best decision or the best solution first that I think I can prefer to anybody is to know Jesus. Whatever other thing you are now doing, whatever, maybe therapy, speaking to people, there's no amount of what anybody can tell me that would it is until the time that I see myself as that I can become whatever anybody is telling me. Oh, don't sleep around. Oh, don't do this one. Forgive, even to forgive people, to move past pain and hurt and none of those things. People can tell, they can preach it to you, but the moment you sit down with yourself and make the decision that okay, now I want to go on this journey. I want to discover myself. I want to. It is that time that whatever you now build on it can stand.
Let's quickly talk about your marriage, which is the fire that you were in at the time you wrote the book
The
Abuse and
book, yeah.
Abandonment.
Okay.
So talk to us about that experience. So how did the marriage start? How did you meet?
Okay, so we met. How did we meet? We met at a state event then in Nigeria. We used to have a like an NGO. It does this students against rape campaign. So that enticed me. That like, oh, this person is doing something that I would like. I've always seen myself. I've always known that I'm someone who has something to do with the young girls or girls, you know. So when I saw someone that was doing that thing, I was drawn to the vision. But I didn't meet up with him. I didn't meet up. I mean, somehow along the line we met, and then we just started talking, and we got together. We so I've been used to guys who don't have a direction for their life. I've been used to guys who they just want to live every day as it comes. But this person, I met him, and I'm hearing about, oh, what books are you reading? Oh, he was in a drama team in his church. Even you can see when Bible says don't be unequally yoked. You can be in the same church, you can be going to church and be unequally yoked though, but maybe for another day. So so those things just entice me, and they made me feel like, oh wow, so there's someone that can be like this. And then I fell for the look-alike of what I believe God has for me. Was a look-alike. Yeah. Really, it was a look-alike. So we got together like that. We started just like that. Things just started working. Businesses, children. I already have a child at the time, so my child became. We just became family from like just like that. Just assumed that we already have a family.
That's interesting.
That is
You
exactly.
assumed.
We just assumed that we already have a family.
So it wasn't defined. He didn't define anything.
It wasn't defined. The relationship wasn't
So you
defined.
just moved in and you guys were just like
So I had challenges with my accommodation at the time. He had to move away from where he was staying, so he got another apartment. We moved together. We were people that started
with your
seeing
daughter?
with my daughter. So we're just like living like that, and that is the first mistake I think I made, because at this time I was serving in a church. I knew the right things and the wrong things to do. Like when they preach, oh, don't do this before marriage. Like prepare for marriage, build yourself, learn this one, do that one, have a skill. I knew all of these things, but there's a difference between knowing and actually practicing what you are. So I knew these things, but still, I was still staying with this person. I knew these things, but still, because I just felt like, oh, I think I can manage this, or I can make him become who I want him to be. He was already in church,
and
but
he was already a responsible person.
he was a responsible person. He was already in church, but I think being in church is different from being born again and being a Christian.
Were you born again?
Yes, I was. I was born again, but I'm still sleeping in a man's house.
Yeah, I mean, we do foolish things sometimes. And you were young.
I was young.
You were
Yeah,
in
at
your
the time I
20s.
was 22 or 21.
My
Yeah,
sister, that's the age where people
I
do
was
things like that.
22.
I mean, not to say that people in their early 20s are just out there making mistakes.
Exactly.
I'm not surprised that a 22-year-old is doing the wrong things. I think that's the place for guidance from people who are older.
When I got pregnant, I faced, I don't even know how to put it. My church dragged, they didn't condone it. So yeah, they didn't condone it. So there's a part of they showed the love, but they still correct. The Bible, even the word of God is for correction, for reproof. Yeah. They did not leave anything. They scolded me. Yeah. Is that a word? Yes, they did. So, but after doing that, of course, they now put me like took care of me, got an apartment for me, because at the time I was struggling. I didn't have.
Church did this.
Yes, they did. They did. So
for you and your baby.
Yes. So, and at this time, of course, I had left my parents' house to come to school and stuff like that. So I was already building a life in Abeokuta. I was already building my business, building the family, and all of those.
Did they know you were living with him, or it was a secret?
I think it was a secret.
It wasn't obvious then.
I don't think it was obvious. I can't remember right now, but I don't think it was, because if it was obvious, they would have said something about it. I don't think it was obvious until much later.
Okay, so some lessons that I pulled out here. It's really important for young people to have guidance. You said something about how your church loved you. They scolded you, but they showed you love and they brought you in. Yes, they set you up. That community is very important.
Yeah.
You had that community. Now, at this point in your 20s, you're an adult, you should know better. So we're not going to absorb you of that. But there's also that place of you are indeed young, and young people do.
Yeah.
You were hiding from the people who care about you. So there's something there for young people to learn. Sin thrives in secrecy. So at the end of the day, you knew that what you were doing was wrong, and that's why you kept it a secret. thing, make it obvious.
Exactly.
There's that thing where, well, it's not a secret, but people don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why people don't know, because you haven't said it, and people are not mindful of that.
Exactly.
Now, God might be able to reveal to someone in a dream or through a word of knowledge that check on Elizabeth, But then again, we don't even know the extent of closeness that you probably even had with people at the time, because what sin does, they also separate you. Because of that shame, you are now avoiding people. Yeah. Because if they talk to you too much, they will find out. Exactly. That you're in someone's house. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. So for young people, one thing that you said I would really want people to take on is have that community, be vulnerable with your community, allow them to know you and what you're doing. Not in a way to police you. You had good people who loved you. They got you a house and they loved you. Not in a way to police you, but in a way to watch over you. Let the shepherd that God has placed over you be a shepherd. Yeah. Be vulnerable to the extent that God has given you this peace, that these are the people that He has put to protect you. Yeah. Allow them. And then another thing is, this is keying in from, or taking some lessons from what you said earlier on in this conversation around that validation. So seeking validation from God alone. And that's the only way to do that is if you know God for yourself. Exactly. This thing that you said is so powerful, because I would say that's also the story of my life. Yeah, because I'm sorry to cut you, seeking it was the reason why when I found this person, I just thought, oh, I've gotten to my bus stop. Yeah. And you said something about a look-alike. Discernment. It's a look-alike. Oh, I can't, like, it's a look-alike of. This person is not bad. No. And that's what people always confuse. That someone is not bad does not mean that they are God's will. You. Yes. How long were you with him? How long is your relationship plus marriage? Plus marriage, relationship and marriage, like 8 or 9 years. That's a long time. Yeah. Of knowing all these traits and still choosing to stay. Why did I choose to stay? Maybe I just didn't think I deserved better.